If you can believe it, what you just saw was an actual commercial about POGs in the 90s. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What if I told you that in the early 90s, there was a cardboard disc that took over schoolyards and became an international obsession? That's right, we're talking about POGs. This humble milk cap game turned into one of the biggest crazes of the decade. But where did it all start? And where did it go? So the actual origin of POGs kind of remains a mystery. See, some people think that it did originate in Japan. They have similar games out there. But the actual roots of POGs started in Hawaii. See, in the 1920s, they played a similar game called bottle caps. But it wasn't until the 1970s that a teacher named Blossom Galbizo came up with the game using POGs bottle caps. That's all these are, just milk caps. Isn't that unbelievable? Now, POGs actually stands for passion fruit, orange, and guava, which is a drink they still have out there in Hawaii, and it tastes phenomenal. Now let's time warp into the 90s. I mean, that's what this channel's about anyways, right? The 90s, where these POGs slammed their way into our hearts. This is a slammer, by the way. Don't worry. We'll get into all the details of how to play, the point of the game, all that later in the video. But right now, we're just talking about the humble beginnings of POGs and their explosive takeover in the US. The World POG Federation actually helped promote and push this into the mainland from Hawaii. People were collecting them. They had all the cool designs: Coke, Power Rangers, Ninja Stars, bombs. They had so many cool designs that people wanted to collect. Limited edition, sure. Kind of wish I had a few from when I was growing up. I actually had to buy this and my lot over here off eBay. Not the originals, but they help. By 1995, POGs were everywhere. Kids loved them. Some people hated them. Parents. Now, the reason for this is somewhat just because this would be very competitive and cutthroat.
Traded my soul for POGs?
You could play the friendly version where I put my POGs in, you put your POGs in. No matter the outcome of who won, you get to take your POGs back and go home on your merry way. But for the most part, and why schools ended up banning these, is because people would play for keeps. Now, when you flip it, you keep it. So obviously that's going to stir up some tension, and people did not like it. So with the school board's ultimate decision to ban POGs nationwide on playgrounds, you had parents kind of backing that decision up. It's easy to see why by the late 90s, the POGs craze fell off. Now, don't get me wrong, POGs are still around. There's still the World POG Federation. You can collect the original ones, maybe get them off eBay. Amazon has hundreds of them, thousands of them you can buy for actually really, really cheap. They're still around, but it doesn't hit like the nostalgia hit back around the peak of 1995.
POG is so popular, Hey Kids Comics plans to hold a tournament every 6 weeks. In Spring-Sperry Township, York County, Tracy...
Phenomenal time. And it's easy to see why. I mean, if you look at all these colors and just the cool graphics, brands, they were branding this everywhere. And then you have the competitive side of it. It's easy to see why POGs really took off. I mean, they were the best of both worlds. Collecting, sports, it was a great time. I mean, kids in the 90s, we didn't have really internet hadn't taken off like it has. Social media was non-existent. That's what we had. Now comes the fun part where I get to show you, yeah, you, how to play this amazing game called POGs. Okay, so you got your POGs and you got your best buds. 2 to 4, preferably. Max is you want to go about 4, but you want to lay in the equal amount of POGs into the stack. And you see how kind of thin these are, cardboard, cool design. So you're going to create a stack just like this. Each person puts in their POGs. Everyone has a slammer. Now this is the fun part. So the goal is you want to flip these over. So you can take your slammer. Now whichever ones flip over, these are the ones you get to keep in your pile. And that one looks cool. Then you restack. Then Tommy goes, or Billy, whoever your friend is. Then he'll take it, slam down. All right, he gets to keep all these. Got the pile. I lost my slammer behind the table. So you keep doing that until the whole stack runs out. And then it's game over. Pretty cool, right? Kind of crazy to see how POGs are not only played, but seeing the history of where it came from, what POGs stands for, the peak in the 90s, and then ultimately what made them kind of fade off a little bit. But they are still around. And it's cool to see people still taking enjoyment with POGs. Now here comes the fun part. Comment down below. Did you play POGs growing up? Did you collect them? I'd love to hear your story about that. For me personally, I had this awesome slammer. It was black. It had thumb grips on the back so you could really grip it and just slam down, dominate. On the face was an outline of Magneto, and it was in dark green. I remember it so vividly. God, I wish I could find it. Probably buried somewhere with all my other stuff at my mom's house, including Pokemon cards, which first editions, kind of got to find those. Really key to my retirement, but I digress. Also, if you were new into POGs and this is your first time hearing about it, what are your questions? Comment it all down below. I'd love to try to answer whatever I can about this. If I missed anything, please let me know. You guys are amazing. And if you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you so much.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
For watching my very first fully edited long form video on YouTube. It means the world to me. This is something I aim to improve on over time, and I just thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Now, if you like more 90s content and want to see more about 90s nostalgia, just everything 90s, subscribe below, hit that bell for notifications, and please click here for the next video. Or here, or wherever it gets put, click it.